Hello and welcome to the latest edition of our Sustainability Perspectives podcast, where, as part of the virtual portion of the Sustainable Packaging Summit, we hear from a range of different packaging experts to learn more about how their company tackles the sustainability challenges the world faces. So my name is Elisabeth Skoda, and we are here today with Sergio Grisan, who is the Region Europe Product Manager for Packaging Tapes at Tesa, which is a German manufacturer of self-adhesive solutions and tapes with a 125-year tradition of providing innovative solutions to the global market, in industry and to consumers. And Serge is also a sustainable packaging enthusiast and advocate. And today we're going to talk about the challenges and opportunities in implementing sustainability in industrial packaging, and how this shapes an assortment of packaging tapes that can contribute significantly without a complex process.
Thank you for having me, Elizabeth. I'm really happy to be in this podcast.
You're very welcome. Starting with a question to set the scene, what are some of the major sustainability challenges the industry currently faces?
Oh, where to start? From my personal perspective, I truly feel that the root cause of the problem lies in the increased consumption habits, which generates far more waste that we can sustainably manage in the long run. This, in turn, creates a ripple effect. The more we consume, the more resources we need, and the more waste we produce. This cycle not only leads to rising CO2 emissions at every stage, but also puts immense pressure on already limited resources. Packaging plays a significant role in this chain because everything we produce needs to be packed, stored, shipped, and ultimately disposed. It's a cycle that we can no longer ignore.
Absolutely, yes, you're very right there. And that leads me to the question, what role does sustainability play in your company?
Sustainability is at the core of everything that we do these days, from buying raw materials to developing new innovative adhesive solutions for both internal and external processes. We do reduce emissions. The 2030 objective is to be climate neutral in scope 1 and 2 and to reduce scope 3 by 20%. Climate neutrality, it's our objective to be reached by 2045 instead of 2050. And this is a science-based target, validated objective. We do source responsibly. By 2030, again, we aim to have 80% of our spend from verified responsible suppliers. For example, EcoVadis rated or certified. We do rethink materials. By 2030, we aim to have 70% of our materials to be either recycled or bio-based, and 50% of virgin fossil-based plastic reduction. We do push circularity. We aim to be net solvent-free and to have a sustainable end-of-life concept for selected products. We do support our customers to get closer to their sustainability goals by providing products with a proven positive impact. Now, Elizabeth, you may have noticed that I've stressed we do several times, and the reason for that is because this is how we call our sustainability strategy that is based on the previous 5 mentioned strategic action areas. For me as a product manager, all these points are highly relevant because they need to be reflected in our products design as well.
Yes, that makes sense. You mentioned supporting your customers by providing them with more sustainable products. And how would you define more sustainable products?
We do try our best to support our customer with more sustainable products. There are several examples here from a special double-sided tape that enables a certain phone manufacturer to reduce the repair cost from several hundreds US dollars to about 50 by designing a back cover bonded with our Debond on-demand double-sided tape, made their repair attractive for users, thus reducing the waste of phones. In the past, if you broke your glass back cover, you had basically 2 options: keep it as such or buy a new one. And because of the price of the new one was not so far away from the initial repair cost of, let's say, $500, it was actually more attractive to buy a new one. So you are increasing waste of electrical devices. This is just one example. Another much easier is to implement more sustainable packaging tapes. But going back to your question, Elizabeth, because there is no standard on the market that says if a tape is sustainable or not, we have crafted our own, which we call the industry sustainability marker, which has as a symbol the earth wrapped in green tape. This is an internal TESA standard that comes from our We Do strategy and basically stands on two main pillars. First one is the rethink of materials, which states that if a product has a minimum of 50% in one component and minimum 30% in the total product, either recycled content or bio-based content or an MBA, mass balance approach, it receives the marker. For fiber-based products, FSC is mandatory. Second pillar, which is the harder one to reach for us, is the circularity one, where products need to have a certification on recycling friendliness or recyclability. Example here are Ingedi Method 12 or PTS.
I wanted to ask you, how can you support your customers with your tapes and more specifically with packaging tapes in moving closer to their sustainability goals?
Yeah, focusing on packaging tapes now, we already have a wide assortment of tapes. Eight new ones to be more precise, which were made available in the past 3 to 4 years. These tapes are divided into the two main categories. The filmic ones, let's just say plastic ones. We have one from a PLA and we have two PCR recycled PET tapes, thin and thick. And then we have a wide range of paper where we have 5 tapes ranging from a thin one for boxes up to 10 kilograms to the reinforced one that goes up to 25 kilograms. You may ask why we have so many tapes. The reason for that is that we cannot really think to one solution can fit all applications, especially now with the corrugated market changing so much and going into the direction of increased recycled contents for the boxes, which on one side is okay to have more recycled content in the cardboard. But on the other side, for the tapes, the higher the recycled content is, the lower the surface tension of the cardboard, which in the end means the harder it is to stick anything on it, including tape. On top of that, this is, we need to consider all the conditions in the customer environment, the applying temperatures or environment, the storage, and also shipping and so on. This creates actually quite high complexity, but no worries on that. We have our field sales engineers, we have our customer solution centers in the world that are ready to support the transformation and make it as easy as possible for the customers. These tapes have their contribution in reducing the usage of fossil-based virgin plastics, reduction of CO2 emission, and improving the recyclability of cardboards when discarded in the blue bin together with the tape, compared to traditional solutions like PVC or polypropylene tapes.
And from your experience talking with customers about their sustainability efforts, what are the main challenges that have come up in these conversations?
Yeah, I think about talking about challenges in sustainability, we can actually talk for hours, but I will try to be brief this time. The sustainability efforts for each company are different, and so are the challenges. One faces lack of clear information regarding what they have to do, clear guidelines, so to say. Others are very well informed, but there is a lot of legwork to do. And even so, as a company, you depend on your suppliers, you depend on your partners, and also you depend on the choice of your customers. And to be honest, every company is at a different stage. So this makes it difficult to really connect all the dots here. But would rather be a bit more specific in regards to packaging tapes. There are mainly 3 challenges that I have put down on this answer. What the customer can choose. So in the first thing, they need to have a tape that actually performs, so it actually closes their box. And as I mentioned, there are various conditions and application specifics. And on top of that, now they need to add a sustainability contribution. So it's slightly difficult than it used to be. Now they also need time to test. We are all aware of the accelerated market and trends and so on. And compared to other packaging materials, for example, a primary or a box, tapes are usually overlooked. But to be on a positive side, that makes tapes actually easier to change. But they still need to be tested in particular conditions. The third one would be price. We are trying our best to provide solutions that work at a competitive price, but with all the efforts and pressure on our supply chain, when changing a technology standard, for example, like polypropylene to paper, there is always going to be a price upcharge, an investment, if you want to say it like that, for our customers, just because of the technology change. And some are willing to do that at this point, some are not. Probably more and more are going to follow this trend, but at the moment, this is still a topic.
I wanted to ask you, leading on from that, how did your solutions help customers to overcome their challenges? And do you have any examples that you could maybe share?
Sure, we have lots of partnerships going around right now. Some are already, let's say, working. Some are under development. But I could name here the two case study. One is Decathlon, which is a well-known sporting equipment retailer. I think all of us are purchasing something from them from time to time. And with Decathlon, we partnered up to phase out the plastic from their secondary packaging. Together, we tested, we approved two solutions because, again, their desire was to have one solution fit all, but the application is so wide that we could narrow it down to two, which is still okay. One for lightweight packaging and one for medium to heavy packaging. Both are paper tapes. The challenge here was not actually to find the right solution because, as I mentioned, we have a wide assortment and Decathlon was really open to share everything with us. The challenge was to start ramping up to their supply chain because in the end, Decathlon packs, it packs a lot, but more packaging is done at their suppliers. So we again partner up and we communicate with their suppliers, and Tesa has to now do the legwork and test their suppliers and then provide the tapes. In this particular case, I would just say this is a triple win scenario. Both Decathlon is winning because they are actually moving along with their strategy. Us, we are winning because we have a so strong partner like them. And also their suppliers are actually taking from the hurdle of finding a supplier, testing the right tape and so on. They just need to make small adjustments. And this is what it's all about in terms of partnership. We have more coming like this, but I cannot share the names at the moment. A second case study, I would say, it's a slightly different one, which is our Swedish partner APAC distributor that together with Tesa contacted an online Nordic retailer, which is called Sellpy.com, that has the entire business model based on sustainability. In the meaning that they have to, they are collecting used clothes and they are let's say reshaping them and posting them on their website and reselling them. Thus, basically they are basing their entire model on the 2Rs from the triple R strategy. The reuse by, of course, reusing the clothes, and by reusing the clothes, they actually reduce the consumption of water and energy for new clothing manufacturer and the CO2 emissions. So here we had a win-win case where also Sellpy was changing for a polypropylene solution, which was actually not performing very well. So they were losing a lot of tape. And when they switched to a Tesa paper tape that worked correctly, even though they were paying more for the linear meter, let's say, they actually, at the end of the year, they made savings by using correctly the tape. And the main upside of this, that they were sending to their customers monomaterial packaging, which they also branded with their nice logo. Sometimes in Christmas, they use a red tape with their logo, which is Christmas edition. So it's actually looking very, very nice and gives their customers a feel of sustainable packaging, which of course it's more by using paper and also by phasing out plastic in their full packaging.
Great, thank you. How have you transformed your own packaging towards more sustainability, and what were some of the challenges you faced there?
We did a lot on that part as well. And of course, we had quite a lot of challenges. For cardboard, we increased the recycled content. We tried to buy it FSC certified and so on. We try to reuse as much as packaging as we can. For example, one example could be the end walls for our big logs that we are shipping to different partners. We are just taking them back and reusing them because these are made of plastic. In other areas, we are using, for example, foils where we try to increase up to 100% the recycled content in the foils because we still need to keep those foils, plastic foils. Also, for example, in our plants in Europe, we switch all the tapes that were, of course, Tesla, but PVC. We switched them to paper ones. And now, since years, it's already, we are shipping only boxes closed with paper tapes, except some very rare cases where we still need to use filmic for various reasons. But even though we are still keeping plastic there, we switch from fully virgin like PVC to recycled PCR PET, which is again improving the PCF and also the helping us with the goal of reducing the virgin plastic usage in our ocean. So still many things to do, but we are aware, like the company, of the, let's say, challenges and hurdles that every partner or customer is facing when they're trying to change. This is the reason why, as much as we can, we try to make it as simple as possible for them.
Yeah, simple as possible always sounds like a good solution.
Indeed.
I wanted to wrap up this podcast with quite a big and broad question. My question was, what developments are you expecting in 2025, both at Tesa and also in the packaging world in general?
Although our packaging assortment is quite extensive, I must admit that we do not stop here. We are very much looking into the circularity of our products, making paper tapes recyclable, repulpable, or adding more filmic tapes with recycled content in the assortment. This requires a lot of work, and I would like to use the opportunity to thank our partners and customers for their openness to talk, share their experience and challenges, and this we can take and embed in new products development. This is how I personally believe that we can achieve a more sustainable future by doing better, one step at a time, while sharing and collaborating with others. In terms of packaging world in general, I think the challenges are very various. We can talk about packaging reduction. We can talk about recycled content. We can talk about recyclability, repulpability. We are all aware of the problems that we face, the challenge that we face. I'm not sure what is coming. I'm just hoping that regulation will soon be in place and help us as much as possible. But I would just like to close with the call to action, if you'd like. Let's just do it. Let's just do it together, because I think together, suppliers and customers, manufacturers and consumers, we are much stronger, and we can drive the industry in a direction that will actually have a significant impact for all of us.
Thank you, Sergio. Yes, I think that's a great note to end this podcast on. And yeah, collaboration and working together is so important in the face of the big challenges that are faced in the packaging industry and, well, in the world in general. So, yes, thank you very much, Sergio, for being on the podcast today and for answering my questions. It's been a really interesting conversation.
Thank you for having me, Elizabeth. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you. And as always, a quick reminder to listeners, make sure that you subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss any of the latest episodes. We aim to have one up for you at least once a week. Thank you very much. Goodbye.